how do we look at all of this scenario, and what is the intervention strategy? And I must say that the 100 Smart Cities program is really an intervention strategy. It's not a sort of a defined objective that we must create 100 cities. In fact, the Prime Minister wants all cities in India to become smart cities, as I imagine you would all agree, should be the logical thing to do. We have, of course, financial constraints. Presently, per capita spending on infrastructure is about $17. It needs to be about $100. So how do we ramp that up? We are not as urbanized as many other countries are. Even within the BRICS context, China is 48%, Brazil is, I think, 86% or so, and Korea is 83%. So if we look at the international scenario, BRICS and beyond, we are not as urbanized as we need to be. And there is a clear impetus, as Mr. Pradeep Puri mentioned, of a kind of distress migration from rural areas to urban areas, which is extremely worrying because we are looking at about 400 million young workers joining the workforce by about 2050. And we presently are able to absorb only about 50% of that kind of pressure. So how do we do the massive reskilling and the reorientation of the workforce to be able to even contribute to this urbanization trend? So we see some opportunities here, of course. The youth bulge is a huge opportunity. There is the chance here that we could skill this young population to actually man these cities, and so to speak. I mean, I forgive the somewhat gendered use of that term, but to actually provide the manpower and the skills necessary to run these cities, to actually make them more productive. We have a very high tele-density, and I'll just explain why that matters. 1.4, so 140 devices per 100 inhabitants. Delhi has a tele-density of 220. Why that matters, as the economist Mr. Friedman from the US pointed out 2 years ago, it matters because the mobile phone gives access to services, gives access to information, data, which makes the urban population, in a sense, become far more equipped to not only live in cities better, to use services more efficiently, but also to demand services. And so that tele-density is linked to a certain trend in demand. And we are also very fortunate that we have role models, and we are able to, in a sense, choose between different models of development. What we are opting for is to use two stark contrasts between Barcelona and Atlanta. We are opting for Barcelona. So compact cities, denser cities, cities that have mixed land use. This is the trend that we would like to follow. So in Barcelona, 60% of the population has access to a subway line within 600 meters of where they are. We are targeting that within a 10-minute walk from your home or your workplace, you should be able to access public transport. So these are sort of the broad matrix of concerns, and of course it's not exhaustive, but the kinds of thinking that has led to the creation and the formulation of the Smart Cities mission.